Imagine this. Prince Harry, ever the prodigal son, is reportedly putting his foot down on his wife's ambitious plans for a tell-all memoir, fearing it could slam the door shut on any hope of mending fences with King Charles III, just as whispers of emotional cracks in their marriage surface right before Valentine's Day. And as if that weren't enough drama, their glittering California life is crumbling under mounting debts and a stardom that's dimming faster than a Hollywood sequel nobody asked for, turning the Sussexes' American dream into a rather expensive nightmare. Good evening, and thank you for joining me tonight as we delve into these intriguing developments surrounding the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. You know, my friends, it's always fascinating how the tides turn in these royal sagas. We've watched Prince Harry and that wife of his, Meghan Markle, carve out what they hoped would be a triumphant exile across the pond, free from the stuffy constraints of palace life. But lately, the whispers from well-placed sources close to palace circles suggest things aren't quite as rosy as their carefully curated Instagram posts might have us believe. Let's start with this business about Meghan's rumored memoirs. A source behind closed doors tells me that the Duchess is itching to reclaim her narrative, as they say these days, whatever that means in plain English. She's apparently convinced that spilling the beans without any filters would be her way of clapping back at all the critics who've painted her as, well, let's just say, a bit of a diva. But Harry? Oh, he's not having it. According to someone within the inner circle, he's actively blocking the idea, laying down what sounds like a rather stern ultimatum: publish that book and kiss goodbye any chance of reconciliation with his father, the king. It's a classic bind, isn't it? Harry's been making these tentative overtures toward mending the family rift. Visits here, quiet chats there. But Meghan's book could be the match that sets the whole bridge ablaze again. A well-meaning staff member who's seen the comings and goings in Montecito confided that Harry's grown increasingly desperate to rebuild ties with King Charles, especially now that his father's health has been in the spotlight. Charles, for his part, seems open to some form of olive branch, but only if it doesn't come with more public fireworks. And let's be honest, folks, Meghan's version of events, unfiltered as she puts it, would likely be a grenade tossed into the throne room. Society's mood on this? A healthy dose of skepticism. After all, Harry's own Spare was a bestseller, but it left a trail of scorched earth behind. Why should we expect Meghan's tale to be any less explosive? It's almost cynical to think she'd pass up the payday, given how their finances are reportedly teetering. Speaking of which, let's turn to this emotional distance bubbling up just in time for Valentine's Day. A longtime family acquaintance shared that there's a growing serious emotional prop between the pair, with Harry yearning for more time back in the UK, perhaps to nurture those fragile family bonds, while Meghan is dead set against it. She doesn't want to return, full stop. Can you blame her after the way the press hounded her? But then again, one might cynically note that her aversion coincides neatly with her ambitions in Hollywood, or what's left of them. Tabloids are ablaze with headlines about their marriage hitting rocky shores, and insiders say this divide is widening the chasm. Harry's pulling toward his roots, his father, maybe even a sliver of royal redemption, but Meghan's anchored firmly in California, chasing that elusive stardom. It's the stuff of soap operas, really. Two people who once seemed inseparable, now drifting apart over geography and grudges. And on the eve of the day meant for celebrating love, the irony isn't lost on anyone. A source close to palace circles mentioned that Harry's recent solo trips to the UK have only amplified this tension. He's been spotted looking reflective, almost wistful during those visits, while back home, Meghan's pushing ahead with her projects like that lifestyle brand that's been more miss than hit. The emotional prop, as they call it, is manifesting in small ways. Separate engagements, hushed arguments behind closed doors. One well-placed source even hinted at tears and tough conversations leading up to this Valentine's period, with Harry feeling torn between loyalty to his wife and a deep-seated pull toward his blood family. Society's take? A bit of eye-rolling, if I'm frank. We've seen this couple position themselves as victims of the establishment, yet here they are, seemingly at odds over the very escape they orchestrated. It's hard not to feel a twinge of cynicism when you consider how their united front has cracked under the weight of reality. Now, onto the financial woes that seem to underpin all this discord. Their American dream turning into a bit of a fiscal fiasco if the rumors hold water. A source within the inner circle confided that the Sussexes are grappling with huge debts from their lavish Montecito lifestyle. Think multi-million-dollar mortgages, round-the-clock security costing upwards of $2 to $3 million a year, and a staff turnover that's raised more than a few eyebrows. Their star power, once blinding, is fading. Deals with Netflix and Spotify have either fizzled or underperformed, leaving them scrambling for new revenue streams. Harry's memoir Spare raked in a fortune, but that's old news now. And Meghan's ventures, like that jam line or whatever it's called, haven't exactly set the world alight. Insiders say their brand is toxic in some circles, with Hollywood wary of the drama they trail behind them. A well-meaning staff member who's seen the books up close whispered that they're bleeding money, with failed projects piling up and no major windfalls on the horizon. Harry's charity work with Invictus is admirable, but it's not paying the bills. And Meghan's attempts at entrepreneurship have been met with shrugs from the public. Society's sentiment here is one of quiet schadenfreude. After all, they walked away from royal funding to seek financial independence. And now it seems independence comes with a hefty price tag. One source behind closed doors even suggested they're considering selling off assets or downsizing, though that's met with resistance from Meghan, who clings to the glamour. It's cynical, perhaps, but you have to wonder if Harry's push for reconciliation isn't partly motivated by the allure of stability back home. California was meant to be their golden ticket, but it's looking more like fool's gold. And let's not forget the broader crisis in their marriage, as painted by these insiders. A longtime family acquaintance described a crisis point, with Harry's nostalgia for UK life clashing head-on with Meghan's reluctance. She's built her identity around being the rebel royal in America, but with fading relevance, that foundation is cracking. Tabloids scream about separate lives, Harry hiking solo for his birthday, Meghan focusing on her solo endeavors, and while they deny it, the emotional distance is palpable. One source close to palace circles noted that Harry's been pining for his old life, feeling unmoored without the structure of royal duties. Meghan, meanwhile, is reportedly blaming everyone but herself for their setbacks, leading to more bickering. It's a vicious cycle. Financial strain breeds tension. Tension widens the emotional gap, and the gap makes reconciliation with the family seem even more urgent for Harry. You see, my intelligent viewers, this isn't just celebrity gossip. It's a cautionary tale about ambition, family, and the perils of burning bridges. Harry's ultimatum over the memoirs underscores his priorities, family over fame, perhaps for the first time in years. But Meghan's drive to tell her story without cuts suggests she's not ready to let go of the spotlight, even if it means more isolation. As Valentine's Day approaches, one can't help but wonder if they'll bridge their own divide or if this is the beginning of the end. Financially, they're in choppy waters. Emotionally, even choppier. Society watches with a raised eyebrow, skeptical of their next move. Will Harry drag Meghan back to the UK fold, or will she dig in her heels, memoir in hand? Only time will tell, but if history's any guide, expect more headlines before harmony. Diving deeper into the memoir blockade, that source behind closed doors elaborated that Harry's fears are rooted in past blunders. His own book reopened wounds that were barely scabbing over, accusations against William, revelations about Charles, and now he's wary of round two from Meghan's perspective. She's framed it as empowerment, a chance to counter the misunderstandings, but insiders say it's more about settling scores. A well-placed source mentioned publishers are salivating over the potential payday, tens of millions easily, but Harry's veto is firm. It's created serious tension at home, with Meghan feeling stifled and Harry protective of his fragile family ties. Cynically, one might say it's rich coming from the man who profited from his own tell-all, but perhaps he's learned the cost. On the Valentine's front, the emotional distance is reportedly at its peak. A source within the inner circle described hushed dinners turning into debates about the future, Harry advocating for UK visits with the kids, Meghan countering with safety concerns and her own projects. It's not just geography, it's ideology. Harry's reportedly heartbroken over the rift with Charles, especially post-cancer scare, and sees reconciliation as vital. But Meghan's stance is unyielding, viewing the UK as toxic territory. Tabloids amplify this with crisis headlines, and insiders confirm the prop is real, manifesting in less public affection and more solo time. Society's view? A touch of weariness. After years of their drama, many just want them to sort it out quietly. Financially, the details are grim. That multi-million mansion, a money pit with mortgages and upkeep draining resources. Their Archewell Foundation has seen staff exodus and donation dips, hinting at mismanagement. Hollywood deals dry up. Spotify called them grifters. Netflix projects flop. And Meghan's brand launches fizzle. A longtime family acquaintance whispered of desperate regrouping, with Harry rarely venturing out, feeling purposeless. Debts mount, stardom fades, and the dream sours. It's cynical, but perhaps this is the price of independence. In wrapping up, dear viewers, these threads, memoirs, marriage strains, money woes, weave a tapestry of turmoil for the Sussexes. Harry's ultimatum speaks volumes about his shifting priorities, but whether it saves or sinks them remains the question. Thanks for your time. Until next time, keep pondering these royal riddles.